And now the 30-year-old American Tommy Ford leading after the first run of a giant slalom for the first time in his career. What will be the mindset? Right now, a decade on the World Cup. The native of Oregon, who also went to Dartmouth, has never even been on a World Cup podium. And now the biggest moment of his career in front of the home fans. The only U.S. stop for the men on the World Cup this season. And Tommy Ford, the leader after the first run, coming through the final gates on the Birds of Prey. Looking for that signature moment in his long career, and Tommy Ford has got it!
Alpine ski racing is a tough sport. The only measure of success is crossing the finish line with the fastest time of all the racers. Speed rules, as races are typically won by less than hundredths of a second. But it takes a lot of hard work and dedication over many years to be ranked amongst the best in the world and get to compete in the World Cup or the Olympics. Achieving the elite level of competitive alpine ski racing takes years of technical, physical, and mental development. Erich is known worldwide for being the developmental coach who started some of the world's best ski racers on their path to attaining the elite level of alpine ski racing, including U.S. ski team members Lindsey Vonn, Julia Mancuso, Sarah Schleper, Razy Stiegler, Michael Ankney, and Isaiah Nelson. For over 60 years, Erich has successfully coached thousands of elite developing alpine ski racers to ski faster, win medals, and earn the opportunity to become the next generations of world-class competitors.
What do you believe it takes to become an elite-level athlete in alpine ski racing?
Well, of course, it would be good if you would have some talent. You know, you have different sports. You have skiing is difficult. You need a lot of talent on top of hard work, and you have to be around good people who are better than you are, and then you learn. Then you get better.
Over the years, what have you observed that separates those racers that actually achieve the elite levels of racing from the other racers?
The ones who really love it, and the ones who work really, really hard, and think and act for years, to live just for the sport. That's what it takes.
In a sport where races are won within fractions of a second, an alpine ski racing athlete needs to be able to perform at peak performance levels technically. But athletes have a limited amount of time during the year when they can actually be on snow. About 150 days, or a bit more if they train on a glacier in the early summer. It's important for an athlete to maximize their time on snow and to make the most of each training session by doing drills, pushing themselves to ski faster, and training in gates to perfect their slalom and GS techniques. Progression through USSA's pipeline typically starts at 8 years old as an age-class athlete on a ski club competing at the divisional level. Based on performance, an athlete has the potential to progress all the way up to the U.S. ski team. Everything builds on a strong foundation of the technical fundamentals.
What do you believe is most important for younger racers like me to focus on in their development technically?
Well, the first thing you have to learn how to ski the basics. Because if you don't have the basics, you will never be really good, because there's always something lacking. So you learn how to ski with a good coach or a good ski instructor, and then you get good coaching, and then you're on the way. If you can make the perfect turn, like Sarah does, or the top skiers, and I could do, and when I'm healthy, I can still make a slow, perfect turn. Yes, that would be very good. Then you can build on that.
Here's World Cup athlete and U.S. ski team member Razy Stiegler demonstrating a perfect turn during technical warm-ups at Erich's camp at Mount Hood this past summer.
There's going to be some sliding, but make sure your arms are up, stable, or really don't hunch over, don't stand up too straight, start to bend your knees and get comfortable. It's actually good that the conditions are a little bit rough because you're going to have to use your balance, okay? So right after me, pull your hands in. Go. Go.
Beautiful to see how there's nothing in the way, all natural. Beautiful. Beautiful, these people. Yeah.
How much training time do you think skiers should get in a week?
In a week.
Yeah.
Well, we go, when we practice slalom, then we count the gates, we ski, and I invented 1,000 gates a day. Now that's a lot of gates, a lot of gates. If you can make 500 gates a day, 700 gates a day during the week, that would be fantastic. That's the repetition.
Sarah Schleper is a 5-time Olympian and 7-time U.S. national champion racer who competes in the World Cup circuit. Sarah was a student of Erich and now she coaches alongside of him at his summer training camp at Mount Hood.
Can you tell me a bit about your journey from when you first started racing for a local ski team to where you are now?
Yeah, so I started kind of with Erich. I was born in Vail, raised in Vail. I was born in Glenwood actually, but I was raised in Vail. My dad has a ski shop, so I was on the mountain early. And then I joined the club, and I was kind of not into it. Just wanted to talk to my friends.
Yeah.
Then I went to ski camp, and I got really into it. And my dad put me in an all-boys free skiing group, so I skied with people. He's like, she can't socialize when she's on the mountain. She needs to be skiing. So I was skiing like one of the boys in my group made it to the Olympics in moguls.
Yeah.
So I was like with a really fast group when I was little, and then I started winning races after going to summer camps. And not a lot of kids were doing summer camps back then.
Yeah.
And I was skiing like 5 or 6 weeks of summer, and that was giving me really the edge. And from then on, it was just like I springboarded to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And by the time I was 16, I was on the U.S. ski team already.
Oh.
So it was kind of like a blind faith almost. I just wanted to be faster, and the winning races and just kind of everything kind of pieced itself together.
Yeah. When did you know you wanted to pursue becoming an elite level athlete in Alpine ski racing?
I first started out as a gymnast. I wanted to be a gymnast, Olympic gymnast, and I realized growing up in Vail that wasn't going to work. So I started coming to Erich Ski Racing camps when I was 10. Met his daughter, and I loved ski camp. It was the most fun place to be. One, because of the freedom, we were away from our parents, and two, just I love competing and being competitive with people.
Yeah. What do you believe was most important in your own development to get to this level?
I think just skiing a lot when I was younger, for sure.
Like every day, going
Yeah,
and going.
being on the snow as much as possible. But I was really athletic, like Erich said. I did a lot of sports: surfing, water skiing, volleyball, tennis. I just love sports.
Yeah.
I think skiing is such a fine motor skill sport that the more athletic you are, the better off you are usually.
What do you believe is most important for younger racers like myself to focus on in their development technically?
Technically, I don't know. I think keeping it simple is really important, and I think just being able to roll your skis on edge to edge, fluidly, edge to edge.
In a sport where races are won within fractions of a second, an alpine ski racing athlete needs to be able to perform at peak performance levels technically.
So what do you think that racers should focus on throughout the year to make sure they maintain peak performance levels?
I think ice skating is the best posture in the world. Ice skating. Yeah, or rollerblading.
Rollerblading or ice skating. Anything else? Any specific workouts, Jylan?
Anything that gives you a little bit of power. So, sprinting, jumping, weightlifting, as long as you're safe about it.
An athlete performing at their peak, both technically and physically, can still not do well on a race day. A lot is out of their control that they need to be able to react to in an instance in order to avoid losing time or getting a DNF, from the condition of the snow to how the course is set or to the weather. Even the most elite alpine athletes admit to questioning themselves and their abilities on race day, and having that impact their performance in a race. Each athlete needs to find what works best for them to calm their mind on a race day, whether that's positive self-talk, breathing, or visualization.
What is your advice to athletes about how to prepare mentally to do their best on a race day?
You know what I've seen, because I've been around Lindsay and Michaela a lot, they are just stoked to race. They're excited. I think one of the major mental blocks is having a positive attitude, being excited to be there. So if you're out on the race hill on race day and you're like worried about the course set, worried about the weather, oh, this doesn't look right, that doesn't look right. I think if you can just flip your mindset a little bit and be like, wow, this course looks amazing, I'm so excited to race, I just want to race, I just want to race. You know, if you can be a little bit more like, you know, because nervousness and excitedness kind of vibrate on the same level. So if you can get that nervousness over a little bit more excited, then you usually do a good race. But if you start worrying and doubting, then you're probably not going to have a great race.
What advice would you give younger athletes pursuing their dreams of becoming an elite level skier someday?
I think first you have to set an intention. You have to know where you want to go, how high you want to get there, and then you have to kind of trust that the path will be laid out. And just keep fighting for your dreams all the way. Just put it at the forefront of everything. You have to put skiing above homework, skiing above girls, skiing above your parents. You know, it's just, if you want to make it to the top, it has to be your number one thing all the time. Like I used to write in my journals when I was little, like, don't let the boys distract you, or, you know, like, eat really healthy. You know, I'd like to totally keep myself on track all the time because I always wanted to swerve out a little bit, and but no, you gotta keep it tight, you know. Focus.
Keep going on that one thing.
On that one thing. Yeah.
It takes years of focus and hard work to rise to the elite levels of alpine ski racing. An athlete needs to be dedicated to training on and off snow to develop confidence in their own abilities and win races. It's all a progression that builds. There are no guarantees in alpine ski racing. Very few will reach the most elite performance levels that get them on the podium at the World Cup or named to the U.S. ski team. An athlete needs to be patient with the journey and keep working hard to develop themselves to be the best that they can be.